going 50 right now. Got these bad boys. So these are air shocks. Even just sitting in here, like your posture is different. You know, the seat, instead of it being kind of leaned back like this, now it's more, you know, leaned forward. You hear stuff when it bounces off the ground, but now when it's higher, it's more of a, it spreads out more, it's louder. That's crazy. So not only does it look better, it actually sounds better now just from changing the rear suspension, which is unbelievable. Alright, so today I'm going to try moving the Buick over to a spot where I can lift it up. I already filled up, the tire was flat, and I don't know why for some reason, but now when I open up the door, it hits right here, which it didn't do that before I did the brakes. But if I pull this bottom panel out, it just barely clears it enough. It'll open up, which is, it's kind of weird and random. But first, if I want to move the car out right here, the skid steer in the way, so I'm gonna have to start this thing up and move it here. So we'll try getting this started up right here. Where's the choke? Right here. I think we pull it and then I didn't do it. There we go. We lift the bucket up. And then we perfect. I mean, it's just like driving a tank. It's just, it doesn't have the tracks. All right, now that's out of the way. Now we can see if the Buick will start up and move. All I did is hook up the battery. It's been sitting, so we'll see if it starts here. Is it? It's not even. It doesn't even want to turn over here. What? It can't be that dead. Is this battery like fully dead or something? Huh. I mean, these are tight, these are good. Let me throw the jump pack on it. Okay, jump pack's hooked up. We'll try this again here. Turning the key over doesn't do anything. That's why I wired this up. Okay. Okay, that's not gonna do it. I'm gonna have to charge the battery. Alright, she's been charging here for about 15-20 minutes, so we're gonna put it on 200 volt or 200 amp, and she's gonna fire it right up. Here we go. Ooh. Not building oil pressure, that's kind of... There we go. Oil pressure's not reading anything. Okay, am I gonna have to keep it on the gas here? Move that right there. She's running. But it's low. And we got, those are empty. We got some in here. So I mean, it runs on its own now. If you guys watched the last video, we did a bunch of stuff to this, messing with the carburetor and the idles and the mixture screws and all that. We do got some, if you look at this plant right here, it's getting some water droplets. I think that's just, it's been raining, you know, moisture creeps up through the exhaust and it stays in there, and when you run it, it just blows it all out. If the head gasket is blown, then it would circulate coolant maybe, you know, through the exhaust, but I don't think that's the case here. I could be wrong though, you never know. Oh man, that thing sounds good. Okay. Got 70 pounds of oil pressure at 1100 RPMs here. Oh, it's idling low. Okay, we're at 60 pounds of oil pressure at 700 RPM. That's really good. So we're gonna put it in drive. My brakes work, that's good. Hopefully I don't hit this trailer right here. Nice and easy out of here. Listen to that. Let's take it up and down the road here. Does this window roll down back here? Here we go. Got no fluid in my power steering pump, so it's it only likes to steer when you're rolling. I mean, that's probably not very good for it, but it doesn't even I think there's a vacuum gauge that goes from the carburetor to the transmission, and I don't think I have it, so it kind of shifts at higher RPMs, and I think that's for drag racing, because like I've been saying, the previous owner built this car for going to the drag strip. Here we go. See if it'll stop here at the stop sign. Nice. Let's get out here and running real good. Put it back in drive. Turn around, bottomed out right there. Probably going 50 right now. Good right now. It's at 900 RPM, just coasting down. Nice and easy. Put her in reverse. head out the window type of guy for backing up. We're gonna see if we can tuck it right back here. Let's see how I did. So this is on the concrete here. On the concrete here. So this is a pretty good spot to lift it up. Perfect, I think. Running real good too. Running really good. Sitting right at 750, I think. 650 here. Give it a little rev. Little rev. It's up to 2,000 right there. I kind of want this. Oh, water gauge just came on. All right. I was gonna see if, you know, maybe I should run it. Maybe I should run it longer and see if it stays cool now. Cause last time I was running it, it got a little hot on me. Yeah, pretty good so far. It runs, you know, I can drive it down the road. I still need to pack the wheel bearings with grease. I need to clean them and put grease in them and make sure they're set. I need to bleed the brakes a little bit more because I think I got a couple bubbles in there somewhere. Anyways, I'm getting too distracted. I'm going to jack up the car and start getting to work on these, and I'll let you guys know, you know, when I start getting stuff done. All right, so I got the tire off, I jacked it up, and then I took this bolt out of the back side of this bottom of the shock, and then I lifted up the bumpkin, is what my grandpa calls that. I mean, the differential. I lifted that up, and then that literally just, like, I barely pulled on it with one finger, and this came out like this. And this is just a bushing and a washer. So now what I'm going to do is lower this jack, and if you look at the spring, it moves around in there a little bit. So what I'm going to do is release this jack, and it should let this side of the thing drop down pretty far here. So we'll see. There we go. Drop that down, and then this. Look at that. I thought I was gonna have to use a pry bar for this. This comes right out, and there's the boot on the top. Boom. So that's all. So let's grab our new coil springs here, and let's compare the two side by side. Okay, so here we have the old and the new. So yep, you can see the new one's taller, and I think the metal, I don't know if this is the same thickness. Comparison right there. It just, you know the thing. We're doing it. We're gonna try throwing this new one in here. I got a brand new bushing for it, and I think I watched a video and they said that this point, it's completely smooth all around, so there's no like indentation for it. But I think the guy said you want this pointing straight across, so like you don't want this thing to be pointing to the front or outside. I think he was saying that you want this to kind of point towards the center. So we'll pop that on there, and we'll just kind of see how easy this is. Okay. So that is pointing inwards up there. So we got the bottom one on, and I'm not the strongest person in the world, so if I can do this, you can definitely do this. Look at that. I even got my finger pinched on it. There's not a lot of pressure to get this on here. Do it by hand, actually. Then we want this to be lined up there. I think that's good. It's kind of crooked actually. It almost looks like it's gonna fall off. So now we can jack it up and get the air shocks in. I'm gonna get this shock off. And then I've got in this box, oh, there goes all my hardware. I might throw these new bushings in as well. Got these bad boys. So these are air shocks. So, you know, you take these caps off and I'm gonna be running hoses into these. And then, let's see, this one will go, I don't know if it matters, left or right. I think they're both the same. Does this twist down here? I don't know. But this will go up in here. You can see this bottom part actually does not line up, so I don't know if I have to twist this. But, I mean, I'll get this in there. So I'm going to work on getting this out and getting this in. Quick update, I got the old shock out. It works. When I compress it, it pushes back out to this spot, so that's good. I was just looking at like the angle on this, because if you look at this angle, it's not straight, it's actually a little bit crooked, but this whole thing swivels in here, so it moves this way and the whole thing kind of twists around like this top piece. I can't do it with one hand here, but the whole thing spins around. And these top bolts actually have a top piece that you can get from reaching in. If you come in the backside here with a wrench, like right here, you get a wrench on the backside on the top, and then I just ratcheted these ones off. They came off pretty easily, so I'm gonna get this other bolt in here up top, and I'm gonna hook it up down here. You guys saw when I dropped it down how I did that. I might look online to see if I need to do anything else with this, because this is not centered on there on the top, or I mean the bottom's pretty centered up, but this top piece, you could see right there, it's not really centered, but maybe it'll center out when I put the weight on it. But yeah, I'm gonna get this back in here, and you can see this just twists around like that. So I'm gonna face the air shock line to the inside and get this all hooked up, and I'm gonna get started on the other side. All right, so I got the brand new shock in, the air shock, and the suspension. It's in there. The top is pointing inwards and the bottom is pointing towards the back. I looked it up online and that's what it said you're supposed to do. And it's in there pretty good. The shock is in there pretty tight. So now I'm gonna put the tire back on, and then I have to lower the jack. So on the other side here, I got the tire off. I got it jacked up. What I'm gonna do first is put a vice grip on this, take the bolt out the back side. I might jack it up just a little bit here to get it off the ground. And then after I get this unhooked, the whole thing should drop down like this. It should drop lower because this is holding it up right now. So as soon as I disconnect this and pull it out, it'll drop down. And then I'm just gonna push down on this once to kind of give it a little bit more space. There's a little spider right here. Oh, it's alive. Look at that. Hello, buddy. But then you saw the other side. I'll show you guys when I pull this one out. It came out really easy. You can see this one's even kind of loose in there. I could just push on it. I'm gonna take this out, and I'm gonna do the same on the other side. Put the new shock in, new spring in, put it all back together. And then once it's all together, I'm gonna jack up the rear of the car, and I'll get these lines hooked up to the rear suspension so I can put air in it and lift it up off the ground. I was gonna show you guys the ride height, but I've shown you guys in other videos, this part of the fender sits about like right here on the rim. I think when it's on a hill, like it sits like halfway. So it just sits way too low. So I'm gonna get going on this. All right, so I got the bottom part of the shock off now. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna have to lift this up. I got the jack stuck under here. Huh. Well, is this loose enough to get out? Yeah, it is. Look at that. Nice and easy, even with the jack stuck under it. So if I pulled that jack out, I kind of should have seen what way this is oriented in there. Looks like that spider's nest was sitting right here. So it was sitting in there with this coil spring was facing towards me, and I think it's supposed to face inwards like this. I think, I don't know. We could actually reuse this piece if we want to, but I do have a new one, so I'm just gonna throw it in. So we'll go ahead and we'll compare this side to the other new spring. Is it already over here? It is, okay. So there's the old and the new. Line them up so they're both the same orientation. Okay, you can see the height difference right there. If I lean back. So this one's about an inch or two taller, and it looks like maybe a little bit thicker metal. I can't really tell. I think this is supposed to face in, and this bottom one is actually supposed to face out. So I don't know how this is gonna work here. I guess we'll just throw it in there. Clear that spider nest out of the top up there. We just wiggle her in. Get up to the top. And then right here. Oh. To get under the car here. This is where a pry bar would probably help. Oh, can I use my jack thing? Oh yeah, that's gonna be a pain. The problem is this jack is stuck. Here's what I could do. Move these washers. Since I have the wood right here, I could drop it on there. Boom. Slide this under the drum. I'm just retrieving my jack here. We lift this up. Not recommended, but get our jack out. We lower this back down. Look how far that goes. All the way to the bottom. Bottom's out. Now we come back in here. Yeah, are you kidding me? It still wants to go down more, so we're gonna grab this other jack. I mean, obviously you're not supposed to jack this up from right here, but boom. Get it clipped on there. See it lifted up. Slide our jack out. And now we could take this and lower this back down. Look at that. It's like maybe an inch or two off the ground. And now, look at that. Basically one hand. Well, two hands here. Look at that. So we just line that up. So that's facing sort of in. Man, this spring is different. It has a different orientation. Like the bottom and tops, they do not line up the same the other side did. But I think as long as it's in here and it's spring and it's doing the thing, you know, it should be good. So I'm just gonna push that top part a little bit so it kind of lines up a little bit better here. Maybe give it some twists. Okay. First, I'm gonna take this spring out. I'm gonna take this, or not spring, I'm gonna take this shock out, put the new shock in, and then I'm gonna jack it up from this point until this hole lines up with this hole, and then you hook it all back together, and then it's pretty much done. I mean, pretty easy. There's another, well, that's kind of a weird egg sack right there. Alright, so now I've got the shock on. I thought I wasn't going to be able to get it on with the exhaust, but if you pull it and then you can get it on, and we'll see if it clears here in a sec. But we'll get our hardware out. got the bushing, a washer. I had 2 washers right here. So we have a larger nut, larger washer, smaller nut, smaller washer. So what we're gonna do here is, the old one had that little spacer on it. Where's the old one here? See, the old one has this little washer. So this thing kind of acts as the washer. So you don't want to put it in this way. You actually want to put it in this way, like that. Okay? And then the smaller nut, the smaller washer. And since this doesn't have, you don't want to put the lock washer against this rubber piece, so that's what this washer's for. So you put the washer on, and then those go on. Kind of self-explanatory if you just kind of spend a minute to think about it here. And then this pulls down a little bit. So what we're gonna do here is, remember how I was talking about jacking this up? So we're gonna jack it up to this hole. Almost there. Almost there. Okay. I think we can pull it down the rest of the way here. And then, boom, slides right in. Okay, so I got everything done now. And I got the lines hooked up. I didn't show you guys that because it kind of took a while and it was kind of boring. But I ran them just under the tank here kind of loosely. And then I have them zip tied to the filler neck of the gas tank. And I just left the extra line here kind of in loops. So you can pull, you know, if you need some, you can, it can like, you can pull it out like that, you know, and pull it back and it stays kind of snug. So that's done. So right now I have the air compressor hooked up to here, and it's 25 psi minimum, 200 max. My jump pack goes up to 120. I will say, after I got the suspension done, the rear driver side of the car is sitting higher than the rear passenger side. And I tried kind of doing this a little bit, kind of pushing on it down, and it didn't really seem to level it out. I don't know if I'm on a hill right now. I don't think I am. But I'm gonna go ahead and start inflating this, and we'll see what happens here. So we'll just put it at 25 for now, and we'll come over here and we'll watch it go up. Oh, I heard him inflating. Why did it stop? Okay. 25. Oh, that was quick. Then we'll turn it up to 50. It's lifting. It lifted it. So we'll turn it up here to 100. Okay. It's working. Starting to slow down. It's still going up though. So it was, before I even inflated it, it's sitting like right here, and it's gone up about 2 or 3 inches. Let's see here. It's at 97.9, 97.7. Okay, so it's at 97.7, 97.5, so it is going down, it looks like. Hopefully these shocks aren't bad. That would kind of stink. Give it a couple pumps on the thing. So we got this side is sitting, oh, look at that. It's got a nice like rake to it, you know, the back end is sitting up higher. Let's go ahead and max out how high this jump pack will inflate it to. What are we at now? What's the compressor at? $94.3, so it's going down. Just go straight to 120. Giving it all of it. This was definitely worth it, for sure. And remember, I have like 2 or 3 rims in the trunk here. The trunk is completely full of stuff. So I bet if I took that stuff out, it will lift up even higher. Just kind of pulling up on the bumpers here. Just trying to set it, you know, these things have to, like they have to set in like a wear in, you know. Okay, it's at 120. And the pressure it's going to read back here is 120. Okay. I'll try it again here. Okay, so we're at 120. So that's as high as this jump pack will bring it. So let's unhook this. We lost probably like 4 or 5 psi right there. Okay, where did I put my... Oh yeah, I knew I was gonna lose this, so I put it in here. Keep dropping it. The little cap, we'll put the cap back on. And then yeah, that's a nice stance right there. Look at that. Sitting low in the front, sitting high in the back at the perfect level. That is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I think these shocks were like 60, 70 bucks maybe. Could be like 60 to 120, I think I spent. They were pretty cheap, you know. Pretty cheap. So we got here, it's about, let's see, from my thumb to my knuckle, pretty much to the rim. So like right there. Come to the other side, and it's, so the other side sitting right here is where the rim is, and this side it's about an inch higher on this side. And maybe that's just because I have the rims in the trunk and the rims are on that side of the car, so it would weigh it down like, yeah. Boy, that is stiffer now. Look at this, dude. I've got enough space now to just crawl right under there if I need to. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get one of those tire pressure gauges, and I'm just gonna check the pressure like every 5-15 minutes, or you know, I might come back here 2 hours and make sure, you know, you're basically just testing to see if the lines you built are leaking or not. So you basically just come out here and test that. But here, let's start it up. Oh man, it's sitting higher off the ground now too. It is so weird. It's almost like I'm in a truck now. Oh dude, this feels good. Like the whole, I can't, it's kind of hard to tell on camera, but even just sitting in here, like your posture is different. You know, the seat, instead of it being kind of leaned back like this, now it's more, you know, leaned forward. It's more of like a feels like you're sitting up, you know, instead of like, you know, if you're laying back kind of lazily, now you're sitting up in that gaming posture. Here we go. Okay. my electric choke needs to be adjusted a little bit. I did mess with it before I moved the car. So we'll just keep it at 1500 here for maybe a minute and warm it up. Right, that exhaust sounds louder now. Did something change here? It's louder. We got smoke. There we go. Now it's idling. Before, if it was doing, like if it was just barely idling and if I would rev it, it would die as soon as it came back down. But now, it stays alive. Okay, we're right at 650. Yeah, I wonder if it sounds different because the exhaust is higher up off the ground. You know, the exhaust kind of angles at the floor, and when it was lower to the ground, it kind of, you hear stuff when it bounces off the ground, but now when it's higher, it's more of a, it spreads out more, it's louder. That's crazy. So not only does it look better, it actually sounds better now just from changing the rear suspension, which is unbelievable. Boy, the car is stanced out now. Here, let's close the hood. We'll check our, check this. That's nice and full. So that's good. I think we're good to close the hood here. Look at that. I can't wait to start driving this thing. It could also be because it's sitting different. Maybe the fuel is getting more or something. I don't know. Look at that. Oh gosh, dude, this thing looks so good now. Oh my god. It looks so good. Okay, the door still opens. Getting all angles here. Beautiful, dude. This isn't a very good angle. Nice and stiff. That noise is my door panels rattling. That's what that weirding noise is. Heck yeah. Yeah, it's higher up off the ground. So yeah, before the floor pans, they were like right here. It was like right here. Now it's way up here. Yeah, I can literally crawl right under this now. Before you could barely even see under it. Awesome. I guess we'll run it here for like 15 minutes and we'll see if we can get this. We'll see if I fix the fans when I adjusted them. We'll see if that fixes the overheating problem. Ooh. Now that the carburetor's got gas in it, it wants to go. In my last video, I was talking about the when I had the vacuum leak, when I'd rev it up, it would wander, like it would go down really slowly. But now it goes up and down at a perfect rate because I got no vacuum leaks now. Even up, even down. Perfect. Okay, we're idling at 650 RPMs. We got about 58 pounds of oil pressure. Temperature's climbing. We're charging. All right. I'm just gonna let it run. And I'm gonna let it warm up here and I'll turn the camera back on when it gets up to temp. We'll see what happens. All right, so I ran it a while and it's still overheating. So that's either my water pump is going bad or there's the heat that goes into the car. I could run that to a secondary radiator if I buy like an aftermarket one. Or my coolant mixture is just like dirty and wrong, which it should still run cool, but it is still overheating. So I think that'll probably be the next thing I try to tackle, maybe. But I'm gonna get it parked up here and I'm pretty much done working for today, so we're just gonna get this parked up and be done here. It's at 180 right now. I'll let it cool down a little bit. Perfect. All right. Let's get out of here. Can't really see nothing until tire was flat when I got here today. I'm not even straight on here at all. I'm gonna pull it forward and move these boards. Over, and then the birds can actually get some worms and stuff. And I'm not worried about these tires, you know, if it sits on this, because I'm gonna have to redo these tires or get new ones anyways. Alright. You actually cracked that one over there. Exhaust is completely off the ground before it's touching the ground. It even sounds kind of quiet up here in the front. Well, you can tell it's definitely sitting up higher now. It's also on the boards in the back there. Let's get this door closed so you can see it a little bit better. Oh yeah. I think this is the original radio right here. Buick. This thing probably still works. Just looks rusty and stuff. I bet if I hook this up though, it would work. I'm probably gonna get an aftermarket set up in here anyways though. Probably get some 6x9s in the back. Probably get something in the door panels. And then probably put a sub in the trunk. Just so I have an audio system. I was messing with the headlights and the bright switch. It's you push down with your left foot and it wasn't working, and I was messing with it and I got it to work, but this headlight is out right here. And this headlight will only come on if the brights are on. Well, that's gonna do it. Sounds like it's idling high. Oh, now that it's warmed up, the oil pressure went from 58 down to 48. That's just because the oil is like loses its thickness when it gets hot. Fan should be on. There they go. Okay, so everything's working. It's just still overheating on me. But yeah, that's gonna do it. We successfully, I thought I was gonna have to do a bunch of work to get those out, but they came out nice and easy. But yeah, thanks for watching guys, and drop a comment if you guys know what I should do next on this.